What's going on YouTube? Your boy's back again with an exciting video challenges about introduction to debugging. So without further ado, let's get started in the exciting part. Alright, it says that debugging is a valuable and unfortunately a necessary tool for programmers. It follows the testing phase of checking if your code works as intended and discovering it does not. Debugging is a process of finding exactly what isn't working and fixing it. After spending time creating a brilliant block of code, it's tough realizing it may have errors. These issues generally come in three forms: syntax errors that prevent the program from running, runtime errors when the code fails to execute or has unexpected behavior, and semantic, which is called logical errors, when code doesn't do what it's meant to do. Modern code editors and experience can help identify syntax errors, semantic, semantic and runtime errors are harder to find. Uh, They may cause your program to crash, make it run forever, or give incorrect output. Think of debugging as trying to understand why your code is behaving the way it is. For example, of a syntax error often detected by the code editor is function will not work. Why will it not work? Because it's got this open round brackets. It shouldn't be there. So function keyword is misspelled. Yep, as well. And there's a missing parenthesis over here. Right. Here's an example of a runtime error often detected while the program executes. Function looping while true. Yep. So this is gonna come in infinite loop. Alright, because calling loopies starts an infinite loop which may crash your browser. Example of a semantic error often detected after testing code outputs. Okay, this is a logical error now. So it does function calculate the area, calc area of rect, which means that it's a function that's calculating the area of a rectangle um, by by providing it two parameters w and h. So it returns w plus h. This should be yes because this should be multiplication instead of adding. So let my rect area is equal to the function calc area of rect and 2 and 3. Correct syntax and program execute, but this gives the wrong answer. Debugging is frustrating, but it helps to develop and follow a step-by-step approach to review your code. This means checking the intermediate values and types of variables to see if they are what they should be. Cool. You can start with a simple process of elimination. For example, if function A works and returns what it's supposed to, then function B may have the issue. Cool. Or start checking values in the block of code from the middle to try to cut the search space in half. Okay. A problem in one spot indicates a bug in the first half of the code. If not, it's likely in the second. This section will cover a couple of helpful tools to find bugs and some of the common forms they take. Fortunately, debugging is a learnable skill and that requires a little patience and practice to master. Interesting. Cool, so let's go to our first lesson. So in here it says, I'll just zoom in a bit so you guys can see even better. So debugging, use JavaScript console to check the value of a variable. Both both Chrome and Firefox have excellent JavaScript console, also known as the DevTools for debugging your JavaScript. You can find developer tools in your Chrome's menu or Web Console in Firefox's menu. If you're using a different browser or mobile phone, we strongly recommend switching to a desktop Firefox or Chrome. The console.log method, which prints the output of what's within its parentheses, which is this one, and it prints out this variable there to the console, will likely be the most helpful debugging tool. Placing it at strategic points in your code can show you the intermediate values of variables. It's a good practice to have an idea of what the output should be before looking at what it is. Having checkpoints to see the status of your calculation throughout your code will help narrow down where the problem is. Right. So here's an example to print hello world to the console. Right, yep, having the parentheses, cool. So now it says use the console.log method to print the value of the variable a when noted in the code. So in this one, so with the console.log open parentheses, open bracket, close brackets, and then the value of a. Alright, so we do this, and then don't forget the semicolon. Alright, now here it was 5, we incremented it, and now it's become 6. Right, cool. So now you guys must be wondering where did that 7 come from when it should be 6. Well, that's a really interesting question, and I will show you and answer that question as well. So here the variable is a is assigned a value of 5. Here the a increments, which now makes the value of a 6, and here it does sum a and b, and it adds the new value of 6 with b. So 6 plus 1 is 7, hence the number 7. Alright, let's see if we pass it. Yay, far out. Oh yeah, we're doing it. Let's go to the next challenge. Next challenge. Right. So now it brings up this one. Understanding the difference between the free code camp and browser console. Huh. Difference between the free code camp and browser console. Okay. So you may have noticed that some free code camp JavaScript challenges include their own console. Yes, in here. Alright, so this console behaves a little different than the browser console you used in the last challenge. The following challenge is meant to highlight some of the differences between the FreeCodeCamp console and the browser console. First, the browser console. First, the browser console. When you load and run an ordinary JavaScript file in your browser, the console.log statements will print exactly what you tell them to print to the browser console, the exact number of times you requested. In your in-browser text editor, the process is slightly different and can be confusing at first. Values passed to console.log method in the text editor block runs each set of tests as well as one more time for any function calls that you have in code. This lends itself to some interesting behavior and might trip you up in the beginning, because a logged value that you expect to see only once may print out many more times depending on the number of tests and the value being passed to those tests. If you would like to see only your single output and not have to worry about running through the test cycles, you can use console.clear. Choose console.log to print out the variables in the code where indicated. Right, so it says the value where indicated. So console.log to print the variable. Okay, so we need to print out these and open your browser console. Alright. What does it say here? Right, so it says let's open up our browser console, more tools, and go to developer tools, and then we need to print out this variable content. So we're going to do console.log output 2. Alright. Okay, so it's print out the value 2 times, 1 and 2. Interesting. 2 times, and this one as well. Clear, use clear. Output 1 and use console.clear in the next line to print the output only once. Oops, my bad. Got too excited there. Alright. Console was cleared. Alright. Yep, and then use console dot hang on. Okay. So console.log, and then we need to put the value, print out that variable again, which is okay. So right. So basically this challenge is showing the difference between the browser console and the FreeCodeCamp browser. Alright. So why does it do this? I wanna know that now. Right guys, that's not the scope of this video. Will be I will be making a video about this curiosity of mine, in which why does the browser print the value twice instead of just once. So um just bear with me. I'm going to be continuing with the challenges and make the video afterwards. I mean the separate video of that curiosity of mine. All right. So this being done, let's pass the test. Oops, I didn't pass the test. Use console.clear to modify your outputs so the output one variable only outputs one. Only outputs one. Right. Alright, so I don't have to put this one just to console.clear. Alright, here we go. That's done. Cool. Let's go to the next challenge. Exciting time, isn't it, guys? Right. So it says use type of. Check the type of the variable. Interesting. So now you can use the type of keyword to check the data structure or type of a variable. This is useful in debugging when working with multiple data types. If you think you're adding two numbers but one is actually a string, the results can be unexpected. Totally agreed. Type errors can lurk in calculations or function calls. Be careful, especially when you're accessing and working with external data in the form of a JavaScript object. JavaScript object notation object. Alright, so it says be careful, especially when you're accessing and working with an external data in the form of JSON. Here are some examples using type of. So type of, this is gonna return a string, this is gonna return a number, this is gonna return an array or an object, and this is gonna return an object as well. Alright, so now it says JavaScript recognizes 6 primitive immutable data type. Now you must be wondering what's primitive. So a primitive data type is a built-in data type for that particular language. So boolean, long, undefined number, string, and symbol. Symbol is new with ES6. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. Right, and one type of for mutable items objects. Note that in JavaScript, arrays are technically a type of object. Yeah. Add two console.log statements to check the type of each of the two variables 7 and 3 in the code. Right, pretty easy stuff. So console.log type of 7, and then another, just copy and paste this to save time, and 3. Okay, and this should return a number and a string. Cool, perfect. See, a number and a string, which is a number and a string here. Sweet as. Let's continue to the next challenge, and I know you will pass. Right, so with 9,000. Oh yeah, but we won't be satisfied with just 9,000. We want at least $1 million. Ha ha ha. Let's go to the next one. Catch misspelled variables and function names. Typical errors in programming, really typical, especially when you're typing it when you're in a rush or trying to type really fast. The console.log and type of methods are the two primary ways to check intermediate values and types of program output. Now it's time to get into a common forms that bugs take. One syntax level issue that fast typers can commiserate with is the humble spelling error. Transposed, missing, or miscapitalized characters in a variable or function name will have the browser looking for an object that doesn't exist and complain in the form of a reference error. JavaScript variables and JavaScript variable and function names are case sensitive. So ensure JavaScript is case sensitive. Fix the two spelling errors in the code so networking capital calculation works. So networking capital calculation works. We need to improve this one. So receivables. One thing I like to do is to copy and paste the variables which I'm working with. It's a lot easier than misspelling it. Alright, let's run the test and obviously we pass. Go to the next challenge. Alright, catch unclose parentheses brackets and quotes. Oopsie, we already see the errors here. Alright, anyway, I'll read this out first. Another syntax error to be aware of is that all opening parentheses, brackets, curly braces, and quotes have a closing pair. Forgetting a piece tends to happen when you're editing existing code and inserting items with one of the pair types. Also, take care when nesting code blocks into others, such as adding a callback function as an argument to a method. Alright. One way to avoid this mistake is as soon as the opening character is typed, immediately include the closing match. Then move the cursor back between them and continue coding. Fortunately, excuse me. Fortunately, most modern code editors generate the second half of the pair automatically. Absolutely right. Couldn't agree more. Fix the two pair errors in the code. Right. So that's the error. Square bracket missing and a round bracket missing. Right, that's all done and the function should pass and there we go. Nope, it hasn't passed. Why has it not passed? What did I do wrong here? Right, previous is not defined. My array, previous is not defined, previous is not defined. Right, the code should fix the missing piece of the array. Yeah, the code should fix the missing piece. The reduce method, the console output should say sum of the array is 6. Okay, cool. I get it. I think it's current previous. Nope, don't need that. Current. Now that should work. Nope. Current is not defined. reduce. Right, so it's sorry, my bad. So this is, as it's an arrow function, so it will take two parameters, which is previous and current. Okay, and that can have round bracket on it, and then after the arrow it will take curly brackets in there. Alright, and this should fix the problem. Previous, current, and then previous plus current, and this what's it doing now? So should take an equal there as well. My bad. So I think that should work, because if this is the method, then these are the two parameters it's taking in, and then the is doing whatever stuff it needs to do in this curly brackets. Alright, so it's adding all these values of the array and putting them in the array sum. Okay, let's check if the results passes the right guys, I think I'm gonna start over again, this time nice and fresh. So let's add the square close brackets there and the close bracket there as well, and then this one should have two param is passing in two parameters, 1 and 2. So this one should be closed in brackets, and then this one is open, no issues, so we're gonna close this one. Yep, that works finally. So it says your code should fit the missing piece of the array which was there, and then your code should fix the missing piece of the reduce method, in which we struggled a bit. So, and the console output should show that some of the array value is 6, which it does. So I'm pretty sure it's passing now, right? Pass the test. Yes, finally. See guys, hard work does pay off. Alright, let's start with the next challenge. Catch mixed usage of single and double quotes are typical in the real world scenario. JavaScript allows the use of both single quotes and double quotes to, to declare a string. Deciding which one to use generally comes down to a personal preference, with some expectations. Having two choices is great when a string has contractions or another piece of text that's in quotes. Just be careful that you don't close the string too early, which causes a syntax error. Here are some examples of missing quotes. For example, and these are correct. Okay, yep. I have been, yep. A perfectly wonderful evening, comma, but this wasn't it. Inverted commas. I mean, double quotes. And that's same as well. Quote missing. So all I think we can choose it either way. Double quotes on the inside and single quotes on the double quotes on the outside and single quotes on the inside, and vice versa. But this would be incorrect if we use same type of time in two different scenarios. Alright, like here. Okay, so of course it's okay choose one style of quotes. You can escape the quotes inside the string by using a backslash escape character. So correct use of same quotes. So in this part, it says that if you re- if you really want to use same kind of quotes into different scenarios, make sure you add the backslash as well. All right, cool. So like in here. All right. So fix the strings so it either uses different quotes for the href value or escape the existing ones. Keep the double quotes marks around the entire string. Okay, so this is the entire string, double quotes marks, and then I need to do single quotes. Perfect. This should work. Yes. Sounds good. Oh la la, mamma mia. That sounds incredible, isn't it? We are off the hook. Alright, so catch use of assignment operator instead of equality operator. Okay, branching problems. That's one that is ones that do different things if certain conditions are met. Rely on if, else if, and else statements in JavaScript. The conditions sometimes takes the form of testing whether a result is equal to a value. The, log uh, the logic is spoken in English at least as if x equals y then dot dot dot, as in do this, which can literally translate into the code using the equal or the assignment operator. This leads to an unexpected control flow in your program. As covered in the previous challenges, the assignment operator equals in JavaScript assigns a value to the variables, and the double equals and triple equal operators check for the equality. So single is for assignment operator and double and triple are for the equality operator. The triple equality test for strict equalities, meaning both value and type are the same. The code below assigns x to be 2, okay, x to be 2, which evaluates as true almost every value on its own in JavaScript. It evaluates to true, except one known as the false values, false, 0, and empty string. An empty string. NaN, undefined, no, a number, undefined, and null. Alright, so the x is 1, x is assigned to 1, y is assigned to 2. If x is 2, this code will run for any value of y unless y were originally set to false. False there. False. Else, this code block is what should run but won't in this example. Fix the conditions so the program runs the right branch and the appropriate value is assigned to the result. Right, so it says that x is 7, y is 9, and result is a string. Okay, and in this if statement it says if x is y then equals no, this doesn't make sense. So these are numbers, so we need to put a triple equals sign to compare both the value and the data type. Okay, in this case, because it's not equal, then it will come into the result which is not equal. Run the test. Yes, Kool-Aid Man says, oh yeah, yeah, you rock, my coders. Alright, this is it for today, guys. If you have any question in regards to my challenges that I've done today, please comment, and hope you guys learned a lot. If you guys need me to improve on some aspect of my video, then please feel free to comment me below. I mean, in the comments section. And until then, yeah, have fun coding.